Turfgrass yards like this one are leading to a decline in pollinating species across the world because they do not provide any shelter or food for pollinating insects as they move across the landscape. Since most of the grasses present in traditional landscaping are non-native, they require a lot more water than native grasses would. Many of these grass yards are made up of non-native grasses that are cut when they're only a few inches high. This means that they never have a chance to flower and offer no benefit for the environment. Many homeowners are drawn to these traditional grass lawns because of the aesthetics, but we believe that the benefit that pollinators offer to the world outweigh any aesthetic value that these non-native grasses may have. Homeowners should use native flowering plants in their landscaping because they provide habitat for pollinating species and are better adapted for the area, so they require less water than most non-native plants. A USDA study found that over the past 15 years, we've lost over 40% of pollinator species in some locations. Private residential yards account for 35 to 50% of urban green spaces, so it's important for homeowners to know how they can make a difference in the number of pollinating insects by how they choose to manage their yard. Here in East Tennessee, some common native flowering plants include asters, bee balm, butterfly milkweed, trillium, and purple coneflower. Websites like the National Wildlife Federation and National Audubon Society can help you figure out what plants are native to your area.
Pollinators are important to both agricultural and natural ecosystems. They are the lifeline of plant growth as they are responsible for carrying pollen between plants, an essential part of plant reproduction. 75% of all flowering plant species rely on pollinators, making them a vital part of every ecosystem in the world. They create diverse ecosystems on large and small scales. Having a diverse ecosystem makes them more likely to support a wide variety of birds, insects, and other native wildlife. They are true fighters in the war against climate change. They are responsible for the growth of plants that work as filters, removing large amounts of carbon dioxide in the air and replacing it with clean oxygen. More plant coverage will also help to control heat islands that are observed in urban areas, leading to an overall decrease in global temperatures. Bee populations have been declining since the early 2000s. This is due to factors like habitat loss and fragmentation, pesticide exposure, disease and parasites, climate change, and of course, monoculture landscaping. But what would happen if the bees were gone? Without plant cultivation, we would see a large decrease in food supply. In turn, the whole economy would be affected. Bees are credited to contributing billions of dollars to the agricultural economy. Without bees, people will lose their jobs, food prices will dramatically increase, there will be a decrease in availability of certain medications, and economic instability will loom over rural communities. Plant diversity will also be greatly impacted, which could send a detrimental cascading effect throughout the ecosystem. Without plant diversity, ecosystems become more sensitive to environmental changes, putting them more at risk than ecosystems with thriving pollinator populations. Luckily, there are changes that can be made within your own yard that can have large-scale impacts on the survival of pollinators.
Native plants come in all shapes and sizes, like this billowy pink azalea, which just happens to be a shrub. Or, if you'd prefer a flower, the evening primrose is a great option. But if pink doesn't strike your fancy, there are plenty of flowers in the aster family that are sure to provide a variety of color and textures, like an unexpected pop of red. Since these plants are native to the landscape, they require significantly less water inputs and general maintenance to keep healthy and alive. These plants can look great in any landscaping, be it a natural prairie landscape, which provides both habitat and food for pollinators. You may also incorporate some aquatic plants into your landscaping. And yes, these plants are also native. Even if you live in an arid climate, there are plenty of options of native plants for your garden. These also come in a variety of shapes and textures, so the possibilities are truly endless. We hope you found this video informational and now know where to find resources on how to convert your lawn into a pollinator safe haven.